Hey guys, welcome to another live stream from DLH.io, your friends over here, dailylakehouse.io. And today we are talking about the Restaurant365 integration and automation, particularly around actual versus theoretical aggregator reporting. This is really cool. Quite a few customers are using this today to take advantage of not only the data that's available inside of Restaurant 365, but the integration of the entire ecosystem and the entire footprint of data that's flowing through restaurant operations on a daily basis. So data just continues to grow, and we need some place to put that data, move that data so that we can analyze it to the best of our ability, so we can focus on innovating the business, not just being bogged down by the amount of data that is crushing so many organizations. So Restaurant 365, R365, what a great concept, what a great company, magnificent software. It really does bridge the gap between accounting and operations, bringing in some of these disparate operational systems and really just layering that into a single platform so that you can go in there and manage your accounting. You can look at sales across all of your restaurant units. It doesn't matter if you're using Toast or another POS like Aloha. You can look at all that information inside of the platform and actually operate on it, which is great. And so lots of really wonderful household names there. IHOP, Whataburger, we love these customers. And all of these R365 customers, as some of our mutual customers know today, that they do benefit from bringing the concepts together. So having all the ability to operate in Restaurant 365. And then when it comes to all the other data integration that restaurant operators have, and that includes homegrown databases, third-party API integrations. They know they can trust DLH.io. So, some key takeaways just early on that we're going to talk about are exploring multiple options for the best data analysis capability and tools, distribution of your analytics and any key findings and metrics. Then, of course, continuing for the restaurants to grow as a data-driven organization. And one of my favorites is just understanding how other restaurant groups are doing it and how they're benefiting from data and AI. And I think we see this today in really case studies. And I always find restaurants are like universities and secondary education in the States, where oftentimes once one restaurant or one university, for example, really embraces new technology, it really does pave the way for all these other units, restaurants, colleges, whatever my analogy is amounting to, for these others to really adopt and adapt that system, that technology, whatever it is, infrastructure, architecture, etc. And at the end of the day, on the topic we're talking about now, it's about using your data how you need to use it as an operator. So what we've seen in the real world is our friends at R365, they've put together a great platform. And sometimes to really say, that's great. That's great. We love the platform, but we need some additional data analytics, wrangling, to really see the big picture, to really get all that together. And oftentimes there's a bunch of central themes regarding the data, right? So in accounting, we're obviously looking at P&L, we're looking at payables, we're looking at labor, of course. And so those are kind of the table stakes, and R365 does a really great job of helping unify that data and working on that data. Lots of good reports out of the box. But when you want to extend it, that's where some of the other analytical capabilities that have been known to work well in many other industries, also in the restaurant industry, of course. But Restaurant 365 is just more of a modern central centerpiece, if you will, to where a lot of this data ingenuity and analysis can start. And so on that data journey, we really want to make sure that our friends, our restaurant operator partners, and our customers understand what that journey looks like for them, how it's unique to them in the restaurant space, and then also as operators, are they getting the best that they could possibly get at the moment? And a couple of ways we can kind of decipher that message or that question is to understand, hey, where are we really starting with all this? Right. So if you're starting with R365 as that centerpiece, as that nexus, if you will, for your operation, you've brought everything in, you've gone through an initiative where you've consolidated maybe several different POS systems that you've been maybe trial and error, or maybe just naturally you've got different systems across your different units, and that's fine. This is a great place to start with R365. But you can also ask yourself, what are the limitations that product has, and really not limited as a software in of itself, because they've got a roadmap. They're doing magnificent things over at Restaurant 365. But do you need additional capability? And the answer is going to be yes, because Restaurant 365 doesn't do every single aspect of your operations for you. And so what we're focused on is that integration. We want to see all of our data, not just our finance or sales, but we want to integrate with loyalty. We want to look at scheduling. We want to look at third-party data that's coming in that just doesn't, there's nowhere to put it in R365. And things that we're doing manually, we want to automate. So we really need to understand, yes, R365, great platform, wonderful. And how can we make it not only better by putting additional data points and concepts into it? Again, not manually, but automate that where we can. But then definitely, how can we work with the R365 to synchronize and replicate data from it, join that, enrich it, so that we have a much better understanding, not only operations, but the customer journey, right? We're very interested in managing operations, of course, but we want to make sure that customers are coming back, they're enjoying our concepts, and then of course we're able to stabilize the organization. And the only way you can do that is by having all of the data so that you can make the best decisions possible. And so one of the case studies we're throwing out there is one of our customers, or actually several of our customers, but one of them actually pointed this concept out, which was in Restaurant 365. One of the biggest challenges, and this goes for restaurants in general, is the actual versus theoretical reporting, or the data aggregation thereof. And so yes, you have other sources and systems that paint the big picture, and a lot of our restaurant partners and operators are short staffed, and you really need to find a way to innovate. And one way you can do that is by automating some of the manual processes that you're doing today, so that you free up that time, so that your team, who understands your restaurant, they understand the concepts, they understand operations, well, let them focus on that and then automate these other things. So what we're pointing out today is just one use case inside of R365, where our platform DLH.io is automating the actual versus theoretical aggregate across all units. And if you understand actual versus theoretical reporting, so this is giving you the ability to kind of look at, of course, across all your different roll-ups, for example, on cost for things like food, liquor, wine, depends on how your restaurant runs, and then kind of look at that cost and the theoretical costs associated with it compared to actuals. And one of the shortcomings that we see, and we see this across different systems as well, is just the ability to simply get that across all units. And even in R365, to get that consolidated view, you can really only do it unit by unit by unit. And if you are running a report to do that, of course, then you're having to set the same parameters. You can have a save view and so forth, but you're running the same parameters. And so that's a manual effort. And we had a few customers who were doing that on the account several times a week for with 2 to 3 different people. And it was taking them between 1 to 3 hours, depending on what was going on with the system, depending on their workload. And they're breaking that out into different chunks. And so it was costing them time and labor. Now, these are salaried employees that are inside of SG&A for the most part, but it was consuming their time, right? It becomes this kind of menial manual task where eventually those employees get, I won't say burned out, but definitely annoyed at the fact that they're having to manually cobble together this data that, of course, could otherwise be automated. And and then you have that either when you come in the morning, or it runs intraday, so that you can have more of a near real time view of the operations. And so, if this is something that your operations team is managing by, and you're doing or anything manual, it's just a single use case, then you'll definitely want to reach out to us, get an opportunity to check out a demo. But what we're doing here through automation is taking multiple stores, just kind of showing 4 in the diagram, but it could be 400. And we're basically automating that process and bringing it into a single view of all the units, using the actual versus theoretical detail and reporting that you can get out of Restaurant 365. And so that can come in a simple tabular format from DLH.io. We can export that out and send it via email to your operations team. We can even Slack it if you use Slack or anything like that, or Microsoft Teams. We have a Teams target, so you can get that there. Or what many of our customers doing is they're automatically using DLH to bring this aggregated view into their data warehouse. And so that you could be using anything, or data lake, right? DLH adheres and is capable of working with all sorts of different data destinations. So that could be, if you're familiar, not to get too technical, but that could be anything from a SQL Server database target to Snowflake. It could be Databricks if you're thinking more of like data lake storage. And so that gives your team, if you have a data team, it gives them the ability to go ahead and capture that data with tools that they're familiar with, and begin either assimilating it into your existing data warehouse, or maybe it's a good time for you to start building a data warehouse. Or, DLH, we have actually kind of a pre-built restaurant data mart model that you can leverage. And so that just gives you some immediate analytics capability. And of course, Excel. You could just use Excel directly to work with this data. But the point is, it's automated, and it can be automatically aggregated as well, or you could just be looking at that raw data of just a consolidated and aggregated view of all the stores together, actual versus theoretical. And so this is just a screenshot of part of the DLH.io platform, where we're talking about having that Restaurant 365 connector, and also our reporting connector. So we can, with the platform, connect to your Restaurant 365 account, and we can start looking at things like, we can pull locations, for example, other accounting information, really all the details that you see when you log into Restaurant 365. We have the ability to automate that so that you can get that data into, like I said, a data warehouse or a data lake, so that other people in your team as well can benefit. And this can also reduce logins into your system as well. Do you really need everyone logging into the system all the time, especially if you're not too familiar with the full administration control and security controls of the system, right? But if you're able to set up just what we call a service account, then that service account can just log in from DLH.io, and you only have the one connection there, and then that can bring that data into a centralized data repository, that then anyone from your company who you deem to have access can just query that data, or they can just get distributed reports whenever you deem that they should have the reports, versus somebody logging in and potentially having the wrong access and causing an issue in your Restaurant 365 system. And so, like I mentioned, regardless of what type of data, what type of data that you have, DLH.io can integrate with it. So it's APIs, third-party data, back of house, front of house, scheduling, any databases you might have from any other systems, or in-house systems. You might have built a mobile app that's backed by MongoDB or some other system, MySQL, Postgres, whatever it is. And so Data Lakehouse, we can point to that, and we can bring that all around to distribute that wherever you need it in the organization. Rather, put that as something that can be fronted by analytics or dashboards, or data warehouse, like I said. Or one of the other things that several of our customers are doing is they're bringing that data together using DLH.io, and then they're sending it via FTP or email to a third party. So you might have a third party that you're working with that maybe they're doing something, black boxed instruction and providing you the data back once you've provided them your data, or you're sending it for auditing purposes or something along those lines, or you're distributing it to your units and you're providing them with like a management style report, and everyone prefers to have that in Excel format as just an example. So we can provide the distribution model so that you can distribute a report that's funneled from all these different data sources through dataLakehouse.io to the restaurant's third party, wherever you need it, really. So it's a great integration platform that just happens to have several customers that are connecting to Restaurant365 to do some additional supportive and augmented analytical and data pipelining for their business. So, well, as we think about everything I just covered super briefly, it really is all about getting back to feeling good about working with the data. It's so easy for a team, especially financial analysts in operations, to feel like they're getting weighed down by all the manual tasks that they're having to do. And look, hey, we get it. In the restaurant industry, everything is lean. There's lean margins, lean teams. And so one way to just feel good is to get your time back. And one of the ways to get your time back is to automate as much as possible. So you've already taken the leap to go into the great platform that is Restaurant 365 to help you with your operations as a central system. And so the next step is really for you to start automating and start integrating that Restaurant 365 data with your other systems. Give up the manual efforts where you can. And so feel free to reach out to us. We work with lots of different customers across industries, really. We love the restaurant industry, but when it comes to data, we are experts here. Everything from data modeling to data orchestration, data pipelines included, but definitely automation. And so if you're having any questions about how you could feel better about your data or eliminate some of those manual processes so that you can focus on innovating in operations and worry less, then reach out to us. This is just a link to a free demo, but we're happy to talk shop and also introduce you to potentially some of our other use cases and potentially some of our customers who are really making a difference for themselves and their organizations, adding that business value by doing a lot of things I talked about. So this was a very quick go live today. The recording will be out there. Share it with someone who isn't in operations, who might be having some of the challenges, or they're just Restaurant 365 customers and they want to learn more. And don't forget to ask us about AI in the restaurant industry. We think a lot of amazing things are happening there as well as what's in our platform to assist with that part of the data journey. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you on the next part of the series. Thank you.